Yura Kano appears not as a sudden burst of dazzling light, but as a gentle warmth that slowly spreads through the quiet of the heart, like the first cup of tea on a cool morning or the soft sunlight that quietly enters a room through thin white curtains. Her presence carries the kind of beauty that does not rush to be noticed, yet once felt, it is difficult to forget. She embodies a uniquely Japanese softness, where charm is not built on intensity, but on subtle emotion, calm expression, and an atmosphere that gently invites people to feel at ease. From the very first moment, Yura Kano gives the impression of someone who belongs to peaceful spaces, to slow moments, and to simple joy that does not need to be explained with words. Her beauty feels natural, unforced, and honest, as though it exists not for display, but simply as a quiet reflection of who she is. When people speak of Yura Kano, they often describe not only how she looks but how she makes them feel. There is a comfort in her expression that feels familiar, like meeting someone who reminds you of home without knowing exactly why. Her eyes carry a calm clarity, filled not with loud excitement, but with gentle curiosity and quiet understanding. Her smile is never exaggerated, yet it leaves a lasting impression, the kind that lingers softly in memory rather than shouting for attention. It is this restrained emotional language that forms the core of her charm. Every movement she makes seems unhurried, as though she exists in rhythm with slower time. In a world that often moves too fast, her presence feels like an invitation to breathe more deeply and notice the quiet beauty that often passes unseen. The beauty of Yura Kano is not the kind that overwhelms the senses. It is the kind that gradually unfolds, layer by layer, revealing new warmth with every moment of observation. Her features are gentle and harmonious, carrying the softness that Japanese aesthetics have valued for generations. There is no sharp edge to her appearance, only flowing lines and balanced expressions that create a feeling of emotional safety. When her gaze meets the viewer, it does not challenge or demand anything. Instead, it seems to quietly acknowledge, as if saying, "It is okay to be here. You may rest for a moment." This sense of emotional hospitality is rare, and it is one of the reasons people find themselves returning to her presence again and again without fully understanding why. It is not fascination built on shock or excitement, but attraction built on serenity. Her atmosphere reflects the Japanese concept of ayashi, often described as a healing or soothing presence that calms the heart without trying to fix it. Yura Kano does not attempt to draw attention through exaggerated emotion or dramatic expression. Instead, her power lies in emotional restraint, in the quiet confidence that comes from not needing to prove anything. There is a sense of calm stability in her image, as if she stands firmly within herself, unshaken by the noise of the outside world. This quality gives her presence a grounding effect. Viewers often feel more relaxed after watching her, not because she actively tries to inspire calm, but because calm itself seems to be her natural state. Her visual style harmonizes perfectly with everyday settings and soft environments. She feels most at home in places filled with natural light, in rooms where the air feels gentle and still, in scenes where ordinary life quietly unfolds. A window with flowing curtains, a wooden table with a warm drink resting on it, a quiet street after rain where reflections shimmer on the ground, all seem to match her atmosphere effortlessly. In these spaces, she does not overpower the scene. Instead, she becomes part of it, blending with the environment in a way that feels organic and sincere. This harmony between person and setting is deeply connected to Japanese aesthetic philosophy, where beauty is often found not in separation from daily life, but within it. Yura Kano naturally reflects this philosophy without needing to imitate it. One of the most distinctive qualities in her presence is her emotional subtlety. Unlike expressive styles that rely on dramatic movements or intense facial expressions, her emotions are communicated through the smallest shifts in gaze, the softest changes in posture, and the quietest variations in her smile. A slight lowering of her eyes can suggest thoughtfulness. A gentle tilt of her head can express curiosity or shyness. A faint smile at the corner of her lips can carry warmth without becoming bold. These details invite viewers to observe more carefully, to look beyond the surface and connect with the deeper emotional undercurrent that flows beneath her calm exterior. This kind of communication feels intimate not because it is overt, but because it asks for attention and patience in order to be understood. What makes Yura Kano especially appealing to Japanese sensibilities is how naturally she embodies emotional balance. She does not lean too heavily into cheerfulness, nor does she sink into sadness. Instead, she remains within a peaceful middle space where feelings exist gently without becoming extreme. This reflects the cultural value placed on emotional harmony and restraint. There is an unspoken elegance in her ability to convey feeling without excess. In her quiet expressions, one can sense a deep emotional intelligence, an understanding that emotions do not need to be amplified in order to be meaningful. Sometimes the most powerful feelings are the ones that remain softly contained. Despite her calm demeanor, there is a gentle cuteness within Yura Kano that feels playful in the most wholesome way. It is not the kind of cuteness that tries too hard to charm, but the kind that appears naturally in small, unexpected moments. A shy reaction, a spontaneous laugh, a small moment of surprise in her expression can bring a warm smile to the viewer's face without effort. This gentle humor feels light and human. It invites closeness rather than admiration from afar. It is the humor of shared quiet moments, of smiling together at small joys rather than laughing loudly at big jokes. This soft sense of fun gives her presence a youthful warmth without making it feel childish. It is the kind of charm that feels sincere and emotionally safe. Her strength lies not in loud confidence, but in quiet steadiness. Yura Kano does not dominate the space around her, yet she never disappears into it either. She holds her presence with calm assurance, like someone who knows her place and is comfortable standing there without needing to claim more. This quiet self-possession gives her image a feeling of maturity beneath its softness. It suggests a person who understands the value of patience, who respects silence as much as sound, and who finds power in calm consistency rather than in sudden display. This form of strength is especially respected within Japanese culture, where endurance, emotional control, and quiet resolve are often seen as signs of true character. There is also a kindness in her atmosphere that feels deeply genuine. Not kindness expressed through grand gestures, but kindness that exists quietly in the way she seems to notice details, to listen with her eyes, and to respond with warmth rather than judgment. This quiet compassion creates a sense of emotional trust. Viewers do not feel observed or evaluated by her presence. Instead, they feel accepted as they are. This emotional openness makes it easy to feel comfortable around her image, even though it exists through a screen. It gives the impression that she would be the kind of person who listens patiently, who offers gentle encouragement rather than harsh advice, who understands without needing everything to be spoken aloud. Yura Kano's charm also carries a feeling of timelessness. She does not appear tied to a single trend or era. Her image could belong equally to the present moment, to a nostalgic memory of the past, or even to a quiet scene in a story from many years ago. This timeless quality allows her presence to feel emotionally universal. People from different backgrounds and ages can find something familiar in her. It is as if her softness exists outside the rapid changes of fashion and culture, anchored instead in deeper human feelings that do not change with time. Warmth, gentleness, calm, and quiet joy. Her journey as an image is not one of sudden transformation, but of gradual emotional familiarity. The more one observes her, the more layers of her personality begin to reveal themselves. At first, she may appear simply gentle and calm. Over time, subtler dimensions emerge. One may notice her quiet thoughtfulness, her soft resilience, her playful innocence, her subtle emotional depth. This slow unfolding creates a lasting attachment because it mirrors the way real relationships grow. Instead of being impressed all at once, the viewer is invited into a slow process of emotional discovery. Each return brings with it a slightly deeper understanding, a slightly stronger sense of connection. There is also a quiet sense of hope within Yura Kano's presence. Not the loud optimism that promises everything will be perfect, but a gentle hope that suggests it is enough to take one small step at a time. Her image seems to whisper that it is okay to move slowly, that growth does not need to be rushed, that rest is a valid part of life's rhythm. In this way, her presence becomes not only comforting, but also quietly encouraging. It reminds viewers that softness is not weakness, and that calm can coexist with strength. Her aesthetic harmony with everyday life makes her especially suited for long-form listening and relaxed voice content. The atmosphere surrounding her image does not demand intense focus or heightened emotion. Instead, it allows the mind to wander gently, while still feeling emotionally supported. Her presence works like soft background music for the heart. It does not overwhelm, but it remains present, steady, and reassuring. This quality is particularly valuable in a time when many people seek content not to excite them further, but to help them rest. In a deeper emotional sense, Yura Kano represents a quiet sanctuary within the noise of modern life. Her gentleness feels like a pause between thoughts, a moment of stillness in a crowded day. Watching her does not feel like consuming content in the usual sense. It feels more like entering a peaceful emotional space where the pressure to react, judge, or perform is placed on hold. This experience of emotional rest is rare, and it is one of the most powerful aspects of her charm. When reflecting on the emotional landscape she creates, it often feels like walking through a quiet neighborhood at dusk, when the sky is painted in soft tones of blue and gold, when the sound of the world fades into a gentle hum, and when one can finally hear their own thoughts without tension. Her presence fits naturally within such a scene. It carries the beauty of things that do not try to be spectacular, but are beautiful precisely because of their modesty and calm. In conclusion, Yura Kano is not merely a figure defined by appearance, but a presence defined by feeling. Her beauty is soft rather than sharp. Her charm is gentle rather than loud. Her emotional world is deep without being overwhelming. She reflects a Japanese sense of elegance that values quiet strength, emotional restraint, and sincere warmth. To experience Yura Kano is to experience a reminder that gentleness itself holds power, that calm can be captivating, and that sometimes the most meaningful connections are formed not through intensity, but through the quiet, steady sharing of peaceful moments. In a restless world that often moves too quickly, her presence stands as a gentle invitation to slow down, to breathe, and to remember the beauty that exists in simple emotional stillness.